Hey girls, welcome to today's hot topic in fat loss after 40. Today I'm going to be talking about GLP-1s. It is the drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, lots of different names for them. I'm going to be talking about how they can help for fat loss over 40 and what they are essentially, and whether they may or may not be right for you. If there's something that you've heard about and considering, this will be a great video for you to watch. If you're watching the replay, just let me know replay. I think this is a really great topic that a lot of people are curious about. I don't think a day goes past when I don't get a question about GLP-1s, whether it is what are they, who are they for, could they help, what might the impact be for me. I get questions about this all the time. So I thought it would be great to just come on here, break down a few of the myths and just give you the evidence-based information as always about them so that you can make your own decision. I'm a health coach. I'm a nutrition, fat loss and exercise coach. I am not a doctor, so I'm not here to say they are for you or they aren't for you. If that's something that you are considering, have a conversation with your medical practitioner. But I think as anything, it's really good to go in armed with the information before you go and see them, because to be honest, I've heard about quite a lot of somewhat disturbing stories where doctors will hand out these without giving their patient any other information apart from just take these, come back in 6 weeks and we'll see if they work. So if you go in armed with information, you know what questions to ask, you've got that sort of background to go in with, that's going to be super helpful. Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, they're all classed as GLP-1s. So let's start with what are they? What is a GLP-1 and how do they work? Why do they work? GLP-1 stands for Glucagon-Like Peptide 1, which is a hormone that helps regulate your appetite and your blood sugar essentially. So when you take these medications, they mimic that hormone, which slows down digestion, helps you to feel longer. So what that means is that naturally you eat less because you're not as hungry all the time. That's why a lot of women see fat loss when they start taking these GLP-1s, because they just don't really feel like eating. So it's naturally easier to eat fewer calories. It does work like any other diet that creates a calorie restriction. I've explained many times before, but if a diet works, it's because it helps you create a calorie deficit. GLP-1s are no different in that sense. People lose weight because they're eating fewer calories. What they do, these drugs, is help you feel full for longer, help you feel less hungry, more satiated off less calories or less food. So therefore you naturally eat less. So it can make it easier to eat in a calorie deficit because you're not as hungry all the time. The other thing that they can do is they're known to drive down the reward signals in our brain. So a lot of people will get really strong cravings for certain foods. So there's a lot of talk about food noise. If you're someone who feels like you think about food all the time, these drugs also help shut down those or really mitigate those signals and make them a lot less strong. So what I want to talk about now is the biggest mistake that most women make when they start taking these GLP-1s. And here's the thing, this is really important because GLP-1s are not magic pills. They don't magically make the fat burn or drip off your body. They help you control hunger, control appetite, control food noise to make that calorie deficit much easier. So they can help with fat loss in that sense, but only if you're supporting your body the right way. So the biggest mistake I see is that women rely on this medication alone without focusing on their nutrition and strength training and building good habits around these two things at the same time. Now, why does this matter? I have heard stories of people espousing the benefits of GLP-1s and how amazing it is that they can still drink wine, they don't have to exercise at all, they don't even need to walk the dog because their weight's falling off them regardless. Now that might sound good in theory, but if we don't do things like prioritize eating enough protein and doing resistance work, then you're going to risk losing muscle mass. And this is something, as you girls know, I've been on my soapbox about for a long time now. Muscle is our metabolic insurance policy. It's not just good for metabolism, it's really important for our long-term health and wellness and well-being. So losing muscle can slow down your metabolism, making long-term fat loss harder. Now, why does that matter? If you're going to stay on these drugs for the rest of your life, which some people might, maybe it doesn't matter, except for the fact that you're going to be a frail old lady. That's a story. That's a conversation for another time. If you're not worried about coming off them at some point, then your metabolism being slower, maybe that's not a big deal. But If you want to come off them at some point, or if you want to create some good habits around nutrition, let's talk about what that might look like, because they can go hand in hand. So protein and strength training, non-negotiable, even if you're taking these GLP-1s. So I'll break that down for a moment. For anyone new to this group or who hasn't heard me talk about this before, this is why these two things are important. So protein, essential because it helps you maintain muscle while losing body fat. And that is the gold standard. That's really what we're aiming for. We want to hold on to that valuable muscle while losing body fat. It also helps keep you full and supports recovery. Now, if you are not taking GLP-1s, maybe staying full is not as an important a factor to you as if you were not taking them, but it's still important for muscle. It's still important for recovery. Strength training is key because it tells your body to keep that muscle. Without it, when you lose weight, your body's going to lose muscle instead of fat, almost guaranteed to lose muscle instead of fat, and that is not what we want from various perspectives. From a metabolism perspective, as I spoke about, from a strength and a frailty perspective, we want to hold on to as much muscle as possible. Having muscle is also important for bone density. Those two things go hand in hand. But also, if you're someone who wants to lose weight, what you probably want, I don't want to assume here, but what most people want is to create the body shape that they want. They don't just want to be a smaller version of the size or the shape that they are at. We want to keep the muscle because that's what looks athletic and toned and lean and fit, and lose the body fat. So if you don't strength train and prioritize protein, you're going to lose muscle at the same time. I've heard some people say you just end up looking like a smaller, saggier version of yourself. So protein, strength training, really key. If you're on GLP-1s or you're thinking about them, you need to have a plan that includes plenty of protein, regular strength training sessions, and that combination is going to help protect your metabolism and give you much, much better, longer lasting results. So building habits for long-term success is also really key. One thing that GLP-1s can help with is switching off the food noise and that ever-present hunger, desire or cravings while you build these habits alongside them. Because remember, the GLP-1s are a tool, they're not a cure-all. You still have to show up for yourself and build habits that support your goals, which include eating plenty of fiber, so eating your fruits and your vegetables and your legumes, eating plenty of protein, learning how to work out when you're full and when you need to eat. So developing a sustainable nutrition and training routine that you really enjoy, helping you manage stress, getting enough sleep, all of those things are still really important to consider, even if you're going to take these GLP-1s. Because the medication can help reduce hunger, jumpstart fat loss, but the lifestyle changes, that is what's going to help you keep it off and help you feeling strong and confident long term. A few people have been surprised that I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, anti-GLP-1s. I think they're an amazing tool. I've got clients who use them in conjunction with appropriate training and nutrition plans to help them keep muscle while switching off the food noise. And I've had some clients who've been extremely successful in losing body fat while maintaining their strength, getting stronger, actually building muscle and getting fitter at the same time, which is really the gold standard. I'm not anti them by any means. I think they can be a very useful tool for a lot of people if used in the right way. So that strength training and the nutrition, really key to have alongside there. Having said that, the vast majority of my clients are not taking GLP-1s, and we obviously can lose body fat, get stronger, get leaner without them as well. I just want to give you balanced evidence of what they're for and how they could help, or whether they're right for you or not. So if you're taking GLP-1s, or you're thinking about starting them, or you're just curious about how to make it work for you, I'm always here to help either way. Drop your questions below or message me privately if you don't feel comfortable dropping them in the Facebook group or on the video. And if you want a personalized plan with strength training and nutrition to support your fat loss, let's chat. Thanks, girls. Hopefully that was helpful. Love to hear your questions. Talk to you all soon. Bye.